But let me stay on this aspect of coherence generally,
Mm.
so we get a good feel for its importance. The, the first chapter of the book is called What is Life and How We Heal? So it's an important chapter, and it's on the importance of coherence really to life, to human development, to health, to higher brain functioning. And if we're going to understand, how important coherence is to life, it's actually helpful to first understand how science looks at death. And it's interesting, there's a famous law of nature known as the second law of thermodynamics in physics. And that law of nature says that anything that is not alive, any physical system other than a living organism, moves in the direction of entropy or decay, disorder. Cars break down, they rust, the batteries lose their charge, buildings deteriorate. When the human body, has passed away, it decomposes, it decays, anything not alive. The living organism alone has the ability to overcome that entropy and disorder that's in the environment everywhere by maintaining coherence. It's interesting that 75 years ago, Nobel laureate physicist Erwin Schrödinger wrote a book called What is Life? And he said, obviously, what keeps us alive is eating, drinking, and breathing, and for plants, assimilating. Living organisms do all these things. But he said, what is the precious something that's in our food that really keeps us alive? He said, for years, people thought it was the calories, that we need the energy. But he said, no, that's not it, because, food, for example, that's rotten will have the same calories as food that is fresh, but food that is rotten isn't going to keep us alive. And he said, what it is the coherence, the orderliness in food. There is in nature an aspect of orderliness in all living systems, and what we're really doing is feeding on orderliness. And now that book was 75 years ago. More recently, we recognize that the body, the human body, when it's healthy, has coherence generating systems. We have immune systems that prevent germs from entering the body and kill those that enter, and homeostatic systems, that keep the body at a certain temperature regardless of the environment. And we're producing melatonin at a certain time to help us sleep, and cortisol to wake up, and pepsin to, help us digest food, and hydrochloric acid, and on and on. There's all these complicated systems, and they're all designed to create coherence. That is what keeps us alive in a very real sense. That's the difference between the living and the dead. And so if we can now imagine that we have through TM a technique that brings coherence to the brain, we have another means of developing life to a fuller state. And because it's not just mental functioning that improves, because the brain is the control center of the body. When the brain is coherent, it causes the body to become coherent, and that results in reduction or elimination of many disorders. So coherence is the key, and TM on the mental side, and because of the mind's effect on the body, has a holistic effect, and Ayurveda, and yoga and exercise and these other strategies, if done for coherence, that will have that effect of warding off, as long as we can, the entropy that ultimately will do us in. And so the book is on not just eating for coherence, but digesting our foods, proper elimination, exercise, what we do to exercise for coherence, why yoga is good for coherence. But all these strategies from the Vedic knowledge, from the Vedic literature, are designed to create coherence. The Vedas are, as you said, the oldest records of human knowledge. The Vedas are the source of yoga, the source of Ayurveda, the source of meditation. All these strategies that today are becoming appreciated for what they can do, for us. But these are, century-old, 1,000-year-old strategies.